CS150, structs and arrays. This is the second part of our discussion on structures, and we're going to look at how we can use arrays inside of structs and also make an array of structs. So arrays are collections of data that are all of the same type, whereas structs are a collection of data that are usually of a different type. Structs can organize information about real-world entities, for example, students, houses, or wine. We have different labs on those types of things where we model a real-world entity. The components of the struct can be and are usually of different types. Those are called members of the struct, and we access those by name using the dot operator. We can add an array inside of the struct. So consider a struct for a student who's taking a class at the university. We can add an array to contain their test grades in that class. So we have 4 tests in CS150. We could add an integer array of the test grades, assuming I didn't give decimal values for test grades. We can then get access to the array members inside struct by using both the dot operator along with the array index. So for example, suppose we have a student named Mike declared in the main part of the program. We can print out Mike's second test grade by doing cout Mike dot test grades and then using the index of 1. Remember, arrays are indexed beginning at 0. To initialize or output all the values in the array, we use our for loop just like we did with the arrays in Chapter 8. So if we want all the test grades for Mike, we would use this type of for loop going from 0 to less than 4, I++, output test grade indexed at I. We can also have arrays of structs. So an array that can hold a large number of structs. So, imagine that we had a collection of wine or a class full of students or human resource management program that would hold information about employees that were all all structs. We can begin by describing the employee for the human resource management program using a struct. So they would have first name, last name, an ID within the company, a department ID that they would work for, a yearly monthly salary, an amount paid year to date, and perhaps a monthly bonus, although I don't think I've ever seen one of those at University of Hawaii. We can then create an array that will hold information about all of our employees. So we could have employee type employees, and it would have an array that held up to 50 employees. Within each segment of the array, there would be an individual employee. And then we could access the information about that employee. We can still get access to the individual members. Say we wanted to print out the bonuses for all the employees. We would basically go through that array of size 50 using a for loop, go to employees, index at I, and then do the dot operator monthly bonuses. That's a bit different than getting access to an array inside of a struct. So make sure to review Chapter 9 to get yourself familiar with the syntax. And, again, as always in CS, think about exactly what algorithm, what it is that you're trying to do at that step along the way, and that will guide you as to the syntax. So as a wrap up with structs, they're a collection of fixed number of components that are usually of different types. Those components are called members, and we access them by name using the dot operator, which is also known as the member access operator. The only built-in operations on a struct are assignment and member access operations, but we can write our own. Structs can be used with functions. We can pass it by value or reference, and we can actually return a value of type struct from a function. We can also combine them with arrays, so you can have a struct with an array member, for example, the grades with the students, or an array of structs, for example, a class roster of students or a list of employees. You can even have a struct that's a member of another struct to do something that's called composition that we'll get into in 151. So that's it. Thanks so much, as always, for watching.